Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna do a little something different today, but first I want to say please excuse any strange noises in the background. Some nice men decided that today was the best day to change the lines for the internet, so they're literally working in my backyard. So if you hear some loud noises or if my dog starts barking, that's why. There are men in my backyard and my dogs don't like it. Okay, so moving on. I wanted to do kind of a top 5 list today. So it is June, it is Pride Month. I am a member of the LGBTQ community. So I wanted to talk about my favorite, my top 5, if you will, LGBT horror movies. So I have them all written down. It's going to take me a minute. This is all new format for me, so bear with me. So let's get right into the list. So to start out with number 5, I have High Tension, or Switchblade Romance, or however you say it in French. It's like haute tension. I don't know. We're supposed to be bilingual French up here, but I don't even speak Quebec French, so don't even. But High Tension is directed by Alexandre Aja. I think I pronounced that right. One of my favorite directors. I actually very much enjoyed the Hills Have Eyes remake that he did. And of course, he directs a lot more than that, but his movies are really good, okay? I really like Alexandre Aja. It's part of the French extremity movement, things like Inside and Martyrs. The plot is two best friends, Alex and Marie, or I think it's Alexia, but I call her Alex, go to Alex's parents' farmhouse for a little mini vacation, and a killer comes up, slaughters the whole family, steals Alex away, kidnaps Alice. Marie has been hiding the whole time, so she goes after Alex, and that's basically the whole thing. It's like a chase movie. She's chasing after this guy that has taken Alex, trying to get her back. The thing is, this is the big twist, and this is the twist that kind of takes a lot of people out of the movie because it kind of creates a lot of plot holes. I agree with this, but the killer, spoilers, the whole time is actually Marie, who has suffered a psychotic break because an obsession love she has with Alex. So Marie is in love with Alex, and she snaps and just kills the entire family and kidnaps Alex. That creates a few plot holes, okay, well, if she was the one driving the van the whole time, then how did they crash the car? There's a whole big thing, and it's a whole big thing. There's a few plot holes there. Otherwise, this is a great movie. This is gory as hell. This is really scary in parts. It's really fucked up. But, like I say, French extremity, so what do you expect? So, yeah, moving on to number 4. Number 4 is the most recent entry on the list. Recent entry? Okay. And that is from 2019. It's Bit. It revolves around this transgender girl who's fresh out of high school and goes to visit her brother in Los Angeles, where she falls in with a group of vampire women who like to kill and, feed off of misogynistic and abusive men, which is great. This movie, to me, feels like it feels like The Lost Boys meets The Craft, and I think I've heard that compared the same way before, but it's The Craft meets Lost Boys, to me. It's a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. It has some really good dry humor. I love dry humor. And the best part about it to me is that the transgender woman in the movie is actually played by Nicole Maines, who is an actual transgender actress. So that's great. We have inclusion. It's great. We don't always need a straight white female playing a transgender role. Why not just get a transgender actress? It's 2021, let's do this. But yeah, I think everybody needs to see this movie because it's nice and bloody. It's kind of campy at times. It's really fun, really pretty. A lot of the new movies around this time, around 2019, had a lot of really nice neon colors. I remember VFW is another favorite from around that time, 2019, 2020, where it's very brightly colored and really well shot. So I do highly recommend anybody to go and watch Bit. Very, very good movie. On to number 3. For number 3, I have Big Daddy himself, Mr. Pinhead. I have a Pinhead pop right there, I think. Yeah, I can't see it because there's a thing blocking my screen, but yeah, there's a little Pinhead there. I love Pinhead. So I don't think I need to explain why this is a LGBTQ horror movie. It's created by Clive Barker, very openly gay man. There's a lot of BDSM and a lot of homoerotic imagery in this. Words are hard today. But anyway, I'm going to explain the plot briefly. You have Kirsty and her parents, Frank and Julia. Well, Julia is her stepmom. They move into... her dad is not Frank. Is her dad Frank? No. Her dad is Larry. Frank is the evil guy. I am sorry. Names. So we have Larry and Julie. Frank, in the opening scene, opens the puzzle box, summons the Cenobites. They kill him very disturbingly. And when they're moving furniture in, Larry cuts his hand, bleeds out onto the floor in the room that Frank died in. They don't realize he died in this room upstairs. He was taken to, I assume, hell with the Cenobites. But this brings the creature of Frank back to life, where he needs to feed on fresh bodies that are to be supplied by Julia, who's the actual villain of the movie, in my opinion. The Cenobites show up. Frank takes on Larry's body because it's the last person that he ate. And Kirsty has to use the Cenobites, while actually trying to evade being captured by the Cenobites, to get rid of evil Frank, who's wearing her dad's skin as a suit. It's a whole big thing, but if you haven't seen Hellraiser, watch Hellraiser. It's Hellraiser. It is great. But yeah, it's Clive Barker, so, you know. So we're going to move on to number 2. So for number 2, we have kind of a horror adjacent to kind of sci-fi entry here, and that's the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I am not going to explain why the Rocky Horror Picture Show is a gay movie. Come on. It's not quite a horror movie. It's more science fiction, like I say, but the camp is real. The camp is amazing. So we're following a couple, Brad and Janet, who are very conservative, a couple who are very virginal. They break down, they go to this giant castle that just happens to be around, full of a lot of lovely characters, led by Dr. Frank Infurter, who is a sweet transvestite and complete madman. He's making himself a man named Rocky, who, after Janet's sexual awakening, falls for Janet, and Frankenfurter goes batshit and homicidal. Did I mention this is a musical? So it's great. This is one of the best things ever made. I watched this at a young age, and it had an effect on me, okay? This kind of warped my entire worldview and kind of made me who I am today. So, if you haven't seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, it's from 1975. It stars Tim Curry. Tim Curry's first theatrical role, actually. It's absolutely wonderful. Go watch Rocky Horror Picture Show, not the remake. And you can watch Shock Treatment too, but you don't have to. That's the sequel. On to number 1. And for number 1, and strangely enough, it's not Hellraiser or Rocky Horror Picture Show. What is an even gayer horror movie? Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2. I love this movie. I do. It's not only one of my favorite homosexual, homoerotic, or whatever horror movies, it is probably one of my favorite Elm Street movies as well. It's pretty up there on the list, I gotta tell you. I like the camp. I like that Freddy is still scary. He's not gotten into Freddy's dead territory yet, but he's getting that little bit of charm. He's getting those one-liners are still on point. And we get the iconic line of, "You are all my children now," where he's in the real world. We're not going to talk about the fact that all of the kills in this movie are in the real world and not in the dream world. It is what it is, okay? I didn't say it was a perfect movie. I said it was an awesome movie. The movie actually stars Mark Patton as Jesse, who the actor himself, while filming this movie, was a closeted homosexual, which really weighed on him hard when the movie was released, because the movie got so much slack back in 1985 for being a gay horror movie, and he was still in the closet, so there was a lot of drama going on there. He now has a documentary out called Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street. So he calls himself the first male Scream Queen, and I can get that. This movie's great. It is absolutely great. It's still an Elm Street movie. You're still got Freddy. Now, in this one, Freddy is trying to possess Jesse, which is kind of has its own themes, and get Jesse to kill everybody. So that's a new thing. I don't think Freddy really does that again, does he? He may. I'm not sure. My lips are really gross today. Lovely. Anyway, so that is number one. You have to see A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 if you haven't. It is probably the most iconic gay horror, the first or whatever gay slasher movie that there was. And it is my favorite LGBTQ plus horror movie. Okay, so that's that. I'm not sure how this went. This is new for me. This is all new for me. So I hope you enjoyed my top 5 LGBTQ plus horror movies. And I'll be back hopefully on Friday with another Freak Show's Forgotten Film, or it may be a horror block unboxing, because that should be in the mail very, very, very shortly. So until Friday,